Hello, my name is Darren Thomas. I'm the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, we're going to continue our journey learning about embedded answers, also known as cloze questions, C-L-O-Z-E. But this time, we're going to learn how to make questions that involve numerical answers. That is our goal for this particular video. So as you can see, we're already logged into Moodle. And if you go off and if you look off to the right hand side here at the bottom, you'll see question bank. I'm assuming you're using the default theme for Moodle. This is like a version above 3.0. So you click here and it takes you right here to the questions section. Now, the advantage of closed questions or embedded answers is that you can have a paragraph and you can have several blank spots inside a paragraph. This is beneficial because, unlike a multiple choice question where you can only have one response and only one question, for a multiple choice, with cloze, you can have many different potential questions or different potential questions on a single page that are all within a specific context, which is very, very valuable. If you do a multiple choice or any other type of answer, you can have a page of information that's very useful, but unfortunately, it's all kind of limited to whatever's on the screen at that particular time. Where with cloze, you can have several different responses. Now, of course, there are ways to get around that, but we're just focusing on the cloze question for right now. So we're going to go ahead and click on Create a New Question. And we've been working on embedded answers or cloze, C-L-O-Z-E. This is what we've been using. And so now we click on Add. And we need to, of course, give our question a name. We're going to call this closed addition because we're going to do an addition question in this particular example. That's what we're going to do. So here we are. Now we need to put in our answer. Now this is where it gets we got to put in our question. So the question goes here, as you know, and then the rest of the information is not that useful. You can do general feedback. This is feedback they get after the response, no matter whether they're right or wrong. It's the general feedback. And then the multiple tries is how much you want to take off if they do something wrong, and then they try again. So we're going to go ahead and try to put this question together. That's what we're going to do. So here's how we do this. I'm going to write my question, and then I'm going to show you the code for the actual answer. So Bob has $25. He buys some pens for $1.20. How much money does Bob have left? That is our question. Now, you have to do some code to actually use the closed question. If you watch the prior videos on short answers and the other type of embedded answer, you know that you have to put in code. So first thing we got to do is our left curly brace. The curly brace is right next to the letter P if you're using an English keyboard. So left curly brace, and then we put the number 1. The first number you see, that's the weight. In other words, this question is worth 1 point compared to all the other ones. So essentially it's like equal to all the other ones. If I put a 2, that means that this question will be worth twice as much as the other questions in the section, etc. So 1, and then we put a colon like so, and then in all caps you put numerical like so. It must be in all caps. Followed by that you put another colon as so, and now we're going to put the correct answer. The correct answer is of course going to be the answer that's worth full credit. And so for this one, in order to indicate to Moodle that this answer is for full credit, you put percentage sign 100 and then percentage sign like so. Now, notice how I have not put any spaces yet. You don't put any spaces. It'll not work if you put spaces. Now I have to put the actual answer. But let's just slow down. This 1 represents here the weight of the question. So 1. Then you have a colon. Then you have numerical in all caps. Then you have a colon. Then you have the value of the correct answer, 100%. And now we're going to put the actual answer. Right next to the percentage sign, no space, 23.8, like so. Next, often when you do mathematical problems, you put some sort of a tolerance into the answer. In other words, yeah, the answer is 23.8, but if you get 23.7, I'll give it to you. Now, again, this depends on your philosophy of teaching, But just so you know, I'm going to show you how to do this if you so desire to include a tolerance. So for us, we're going to put a tolerance of 0.1. So they can be plus or minus 10 cents. To do that, you put colon. And then you put 0.1 like so. Now, this next part, there are two more things we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to include feedback. And I'm also going to show you how to give credit for a partial answer. So to do feedback, you press the hashtag like so, and you can put that in. Now, again, depending on the purpose of the assessment, you have to decide if feedback is appropriate. Obviously, if this is a final exam, they probably should not know how they're doing during the final exam. However, if it's like a quiz to prepare them for some learning experience, you may want to include feedback in the quiz. So to do feedback, you do the hashtag and you type in whatever feedback you want to give them. So for me, I put correct. Now, the next step, and again, this is optional, is we're going to show you how you can give them partial credit for an answer that's kind of close but beyond, what you consider, 100% correct. To do that, you must press down the shift button, and then next to the number 1, there's a little thing called a delta. Like so, and you see a little squiggly line, it's called a delta, or I'm sorry, tilde. And so you do that, and then you type in what is the weight, how much they can get for a partial answer, which for us will be 50%, so they can get half credit. And then after that, you put the actual answer. So 23.8, and then of course the tolerance will be different, 2. So you can see that. All the information is right here. So now one thing I need to change is because I'm giving partial credit, I have to make this worth at least 2 points probably. Otherwise it may confuse the Moodle server. And after that, you can put the feedback. But let me just slow down for a second. First, we put the weight. We've changed it to 2 because now this is worth like 2 points as an example. The type of question is numerical. This first answer is worth all 100% is the correct answer. And the actual answer is 23.8. with a tolerance of 0.1. So it could be either 23.7 or 23.9. After the hashtag, we have the feedback that they will get. And then after this, we have the tilde. And for the next, this is for an answer that's partially correct. The amount of points we want to get for a partial answer is 50%. So in other words, instead of 2 points, they'll get 1 point. And this is the correct answer, 23.8. But now we've changed the tolerance to 2. So any answer below 23.7 will get 2 points, up to, all the way down to 21.8. Any answer above 23.9, all the way up to 25.8 will also get the 1 point. This is how it works. And of course, we conclude by providing feedback. And remember, as I told you previously, the feedback depends on the purpose of the assessment. If it's a real test, they probably should not know during the actual exam. Close, so half credit. All right, now that we've completed all of the steps, we need to close our coding by putting the right curly brace. So you press shift like so. Everything is in place. Now let's see if this works. We click Save Changes. All right, we went back to the home page for exams. And now to check it, we look at close addition. And you can see right here, Bob has $25, and you can see the little space right here. You put in your answer, and you can complete it like so. So there you have it. You have been provided with an example of how to create a numerical cloze question, or also an embedded answer inside Moodle. Again, as I mentioned in prior videos, cloze assessment or cloze questions is very common in the language teaching experience, but you can also use it for mathematical purposes as well, or any other thing that you can think of. This particular example was how to use numbers inside cloze embedded answers. So we hope that this video was useful for you and that you now have a deeper understanding of how to use this particular tool inside Moodle. Thank you for listening.